ago. Okay, this is Tim, and we're now at the historic Manteca Winery and Construction Company. Tim, can you go ahead and talk about the place where we're at, some of the history and some of the activity? And while you're talking, I'm going to scan some of the investigators that are going to actually do the investigation here tonight.
My name is Tim Valentine, and this property owns me. I've been here now almost a year and a half, actually more than a year and a half, coming up on my second year now. You're standing here on one of the most dynamic, most vital, and most important pieces of property in all of the San Joaquin Valley. Cal Station in early 1800s was nothing more than a pit stop for the train, the space shuttle of its day. And as it would transport wealthy, good, well-off citizens, anywhere that train would stop, commerce would erupt, towns would evolve. Cal Station was one of those places where a very wise man, Achille Basileri, came in from where they don't know, Italy. Where his money came from, no one knows, but he definitely had money. He built the first brick building in San Joaquin Valley, the first brick building in the city of Manteca, which at the time was known as Cal Station. In 1905, the completed building was used to make wine. Many articles have been published, one I have from 1912, speaking of a zephyr that lifted the lid from the winery, exposing the nectar of the gods. Incredible, incredible history. Prohibition came. Basileri, wise man, realizing that it would devastate his wine business, bottled up what he had, went underground with it, and turned this into the canning company. The Manteca Canning Company thrived for 50 years. Instrumental, vital to all of the families, the farming community in general, as irrigation was brought to this land, a land so arid, so barren that the Indians wouldn't even settle it. The wealth of the soil was realized. Farming, producing vital substance, supporting not one but two World War efforts, shipping pork and beans, canned peaches, and who knows what else, right off of the docks, right off of these rails around the globe, for our fighting men and women in support of the war effort. 50 years, what should have been a 50-year celebration was a 50-year closing for the cannery. It sat dead for a few years, 4 years. Closed in 64, 67, 68, just about the time I was being born. A wrecking ball came through here and demoed all the buildings from both sides. They had a house where my park is. They had a boiler room about where the security office is. One of those boilers exploded. A huge crater. A lot of things happened here. A lot of families were fed. A lot of opportunities, and this town grew around this. And now, as I bring it back from the brink, when I walked on this street, it was so blighted. The people in my neighborhood here are desperate. I was able to bring a clear vision, opportunity. I'm stifled by government regulation, but I still am able to create jobs and provide for many of the folks in my close and nearest vicinity. Personally, I have been up at all hours of the night protecting the place, guarding. It's not just, protecting, it's guarding. And I've heard all kinds of stuff that can be explained as wind or old creaky building. But I've definitely heard stuff that I don't think you can explain away. I have been touched. I have been brushed. I have had a spirit come into me, and actually I physically felt it. I go out of my way not to provoke them. I ignore them. If it gets too crazy, I simply speak out and tell them, I'm not here to hurt you. Enjoy yourself. And it mellows out. I didn't know this when I first was having these challenges, and so I may have actually angered something, I don't know. But since I've had the paranormal societies coming out and working with me, we've identified and taken action to calm them down, and things have been pretty good.